call to order our regular scheduled meeting for April 17th. Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway, President.
Here.
Sister Capua, Vice President.
Here.
Dr. Alquist.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. DeMilo.
Here.
If you could stand to pledge of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will be starting off the meeting with our superintendent's update, and I am going to move so I can get out of the way.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Atway. Well, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Those of you with us in person and those of you watching us at home, we appreciate you tuning in. So today, across the district, was Autism Awareness Day, one of my favorite days of the year, and I'll talk a little bit more about why. We had a lot of blue today. I appreciate the board members wearing their blue as well, but staff members, kiddos were running around in blue, and greatly appreciate that. Like I said, I know most everybody in Canfield by now knows that I do have a son with autism and Down syndrome. So, like I said, today's a special day in my heart. It gives us an opportunity to embrace our kids with special abilities. The CDC data that just came out talks about 1 in 36 children in the United States is affected by autism. And those numbers are growing year by year. And I think part of it is just more of awareness. I think another part is parents are getting their kids screened and looking for things that might not be typical per se. And hopefully the other part is that stigma is going away. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing because a lot of our kids with those special abilities need help. And obviously that's why we are here. To be honest with you, as a parent with a special needs kiddo, there's good days and there's bad days, and then there's really bad days, to be very honest with you. And my wife and I always reflect, why does the good Lord bless you with this situation? Why bless you with a child with special abilities? And I hope one day that answer is going to be so you could reach out and talk to somebody, share your experiences, be able to share some hope and encouragement. Because like I said, some of those days are tough. So I'm hoping that's the answer right here one day. And honestly, I do believe that. Just on a personal note as well, there's a lot of things to love about public education. There's a lot of them. But the big one for me is this. We welcome everybody. We include you. We love on you. We don't care what special abilities you have or you don't have. Public education doesn't say no to anybody. We just bring you in and love on you. And I love that about public schools, and I love that even more about Canfield, because that's how we roll and we operate here. All right, so I hit you with a blitz last night. My Tuesdays with Mr. Knoll, a phone call, a text about our online auction for the Canfield Education Innovation Fund. Over 100 things you can do, you can bid on. There's games, there's Cavs, there's Buckeyes. There's all kinds of cool things from our community, things that you can do and purchase and bid on. You can shadow some of my staff members. Myself and our administrators are included in that. So if you had a chance to get on there, please do. 100% of the dollars goes to this fund, and staff members can apply for grants, either $500 for an individual or $1,500 as a group. And like I tell my people, this is not a savings account. The idea is to get these dollars into the hands of our staff members and do some really cool, fun, innovative things. So jump in there. This goes till April 25th. And I know what people do. I know what you all do. You wait till the last day, and you sit there, and you're watching, just like I am, because I want one of them golf things. 9 p.m., we're going to shut her down. All right, 9 p.m. So get on there and do your thing. We appreciate you. Once again, just looking at our district theme, I love standing up here every board meeting and telling you about what's going on, all the great things. And this month, same idea. How about this guy right here? Coach Pab was recently named the girls basketball assistant coach of the year in Division II. The girls had another awesome season. This is a well-deserved award from Coach Pab. This is a big one for me. When I rolled in here close to 4 years ago, I had 3 goals. This was one of them, and I shared them with the board. I wanted every single one of our buildings to be recognized as a Purple Star Award school. and it has come to fruition. The high school, middle school have been named in the past. Today I'm going to present to you both our elementary schools, CH and Hilltop, received that award. Comes from the state of Ohio, and basically what it says is this: our school district has a priority for our military families and our community members that serve in the military. All the fun, cool activities and events that we do, along with offering resources and other opportunities. So for me, this is, like I said, this is one of my goals coming here. I know Mr. Campbell was very helpful from the initial days when we were back doing, during COVID, doing remote. Okay, but Mr. Campbell, and I do want to mention Mr. Kerensky, teacher at the middle school. He is our military liaison, and he was the guy that connected all of this to the state to get this award. So very proud of that. So well done, Canfield. Got a little something in the mail last week. This was our banner that congratulated the school district on being a 5-star school district. As you know, we get rated like hotels nowadays. This is our state report card. So you want to be a 5-star hotel, you want to be a 5-star district, okay? So there are only 75 total of these in the state. And you're looking at one of them right here in Canfield. An amazing award right here for us. This is the high school. They received their banner as well because they were a 5-star building. So we took a little nice action shot here of the troops holding the banner with both administrators on the side. So very proud of that accomplishment. I told the new high school administrators, no pressure. See, no pressure now. Okay, they just got to keep that 5-star thing going. Our annual State of the Schools address will be right before our board meeting in May. It's going to come around quick, okay, because we have backed this one up. But on May the 8th, on that Wednesday, right here, at 5 p.m., we will start our State of the Schools. And this is something I started when I came a few years ago. You're going to hear all the highlights from the school year, and there will be a plethora of them. And we focus on 4 things: the 2 C's, the 2 F's. The 2 C's, communication curriculum; the 2 F's, facilities and finances. I'll be speaking. My assistant, Mr. Ditto, will be talking about his, and obviously we'll bring the treasurer up and let her chat about that as well. So get that on your calendar. Join us right before our next board meeting. Just want to take a few minutes and kind of review where we're at with facilities. As our timeline gets a little closer here, I've been talking to the board about this, but as I've been chatting with you, come June, we need to have a resolution blessed by the Board of Education. So we've got time tonight, next May, also to talk and have some more discussions. This is our master plan that we have been chatting about. Let me get it back on. There we go. As far as moving forward with a new middle school. And you can see that there. You can see the cost. You can see the additional gym and the abate demo cost. Okay, that's about $52.2 million. And then the specific renovations to the other 3 buildings takes us to that $67 million. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but up here at that top right corner, I don't know if you can see that percent right there, but that says 6.5% inflation assumed. Tomorrow, the state has to tell us what that percent is. We were hoping to get it maybe a week ago, but it hasn't happened. The commission meets tomorrow, and they have to come up with that cost set. Early word on the street is we might be a little low, which is not good. Okay, but we won't know till tomorrow. But I'm hoping it's not too much off of that 6.5%, because that's kind of what we've been working on for a few months now moving forward. But as you can see, that project as it sits is at that $67 million. Last regular meeting here, we had a great conversation about how do you have school in that middle school and build around it. And honestly, there was some trepidation. There were some concerns about safety and security of our staff and of our students. So at a special board meeting, I think a week ago, I presented this utilization plan to the board. And I know it's hard to see, but long story short, I met with our architect and a construction company that does this for a living, and they put together a plan here, a tentative plan that I could show and share and talk about on what this might look like. So right up here, this is that North Alley Drive, and I told our people, I need that. I have parents that drop off there in the morning, and I have buses that pick the troops up and take them home at night. So basically what you see there is we have it during the times we need it, but then a construction company will shut it down, and they'll be driving up and down that area, bringing materials up and so forth. So you can also see right here these green squares, probably pretty good looking squares. That's an area where the construction company will drop their stuff. Hang on, I hear it out there. Hang on, it's coming. Also, you can see the new build. You can see how it's kind of sketched to wrap around. And remember, this is a two-story. It's a two-story building, so we can get everything in there. One problem I'm going to have, I'm losing this back loop here for morning drop-off and bus takeoff in the afternoon. So we're going to have to reevaluate a little bit, and that's okay. We've talked about how we're going to do that. We're looking at maybe putting this little white horseshoe here, possibly a drop-off area for our parents as well, to kind of expedite some things. So people say, hey, how long does this take to build this thing? All right, from our construction people, you're going to hear 2 years. You have 1 year plan, have fun, design it, all the good stuff, and then 2 years of chaos, noise to build. But at the end of the day, we can build this safely and secure here in Canfield on that site. That was the number one goal of me portraying this diagram to the board. And here's a good picture too. What's this thing look like when she's all done? All right, so we built the new middle school. We abate demo the current middle school. And here is our parking lot. And here's our new field. So I got news for people that live on Edwards. You're not going to have any commotion in your front yard after this. There won't be anybody parking there watching events because the middle school field now is going to be over here on the Wadsworth side. Okay? Plus we'll enter over here as well. So, and I know it's just kind of a, not all-inclusive schematic, but I did want to share that with everybody as well. That's what this thing could look like when it's all done. I also talked to the board about some renovations with that $15 million, and these are the projects, top of the list at all of our buildings. We talked about that last month as well. I also told the board, hey, here's some potential summer projects that I wanted to look at, and we're going to have a conversation tonight about moving forward with these. Obviously, if we just do a middle school, we're not doing anything new with our elementaries. It's time to get air conditioning in C.H. Campbell. So there's a dollar amount for that. All the bids and things have not come in yet. This is just a range. I think it's important to have secure vestibules in those elementary schools as well. Once again, we don't have actual numbers yet, but those are ranges. We're looking to fix some of the roof, which we might be having troubles with right now here at the high school, over by my cafeteria and going down by the AD's office. We've also talked about some possible paving at the high school down here by the athletic building. And then the drives going on the north side and south side, that's about $1 million. And I added this for the board. I haven't talked about this a ton, but Mr. Cooper asked me to put this on here as well. Our tennis courts are in a bad way, and we need to kind of talk about maybe some possibilities on working with them as well. But that's about $2.8 million that the board's going to have a conversation about tonight on how to do it. And here's the big question. How you pay for this stuff? Well, one option is our PI funds, permanent improvement funds. We're looking at maybe allocating around $900,000 towards that, and that's a big spend, I'll be honest with you, because out of those PI dollars, I have to buy school buses every year at about $120,000 a pop. So that's a big draw. We do have carryover money, and we're looking at taking out approximately $1.5 million there, which is a big chunk of those dollars. And then we also have an option from what the treasurer calls our school improvement note, which we could allocate about $650,000. So we do have those dollars in theory allocated if the board decides to move forward with those summer plans. So, okay, I'll invite the board back up to the table, but I appreciate everybody's attention. As always, thank you.
That update, and congratulations on the 5-star rating again, and to the high school for their 5-star building. And I know we can hear that rain, so that track meet is probably done, so I feel bad for those kids. All right, I guess we can move on to our induction of the March Rotary Students of the Month. It is a first time usually that we've had this type of conflict, but we have two of our Rotary students that had conflicts and weren't able to attend. So just publicly, I'd like to congratulate our 12th grade high school student, Santino Coca, and his family for his recognition, and our 8th grade middle school, Milana Malenkov, for her recognition as well. With that, I will go to Mr. Lavery and CH.
Good evening. My name is Travis Lavery. I'm the principal at C.H. Campbell Elementary School in Canfield, and we are welcoming Mr. Elliot Inchak here with us today. Elliot is a wonderful young man and a very kind boy. He is known as being a great leader throughout C.H. Campbell, as well as being a great role model for all of the other students to look at. In addition to that, he is always kind to everybody. He's very helpful for all of his peers as well, and is just a great all-around kid. His teacher definitely thought that he would be an excellent choice for our Rotary Student of the Month this month. And as I was talking to Elliot and gathering some information about him, he shared a couple of different things with me. His number one favorite subject is definitely mathematics. And his reason why I found very interesting. He likes solving problems, but in addition to that, also likes finding different ways to solve them. So realizing that there's more than one way to tackle an obstacle and trying to overcome it. In addition to that, he hopes to one day be an engineer or potentially a popular YouTuber. And unlike a lot of kids that have that dream, he's actually already out there working at it. And he's posting YouTube videos with his friends from time to time when he's not playing soccer, playing flag football, or reading books. We are very blessed to have Elliot as a part of the C.H. Campbell family, and I would like to honor him as our Rotary Student of the Month. Thank you.
Congratulations, Elliot, and to the Inchak family. Nicely done. Mr. Flood.
Good evening. Michael Flood, principal at Hilltop. I have Virginia Fiffick. She's just a wonderful girl, great leader, very well behaved, gets great grades. She always very strong work ethic and always wants to do her best in the classroom, and just says a lot with all her friends. You know, she includes everyone. Just like Student of the Month over at CH, her favorite subject is math, so Mr. Noel, I think you would like that. Mom and Dad actually flew in here. Wow, he traveled from Cleveland just to make this today, and Mom's very huge part of the PTA, so we really appreciate them. Have his older brother, first time ever. He was Student of the Month in the past, so first back-to-back. So Scarlett, the younger sister, I told her today she got a little pressure. So, but I think softball's probably canceled today. So when she grows up, she wants to be a marine biologist. They actually used to live in Chicago, and something that I would love to do and never did. She loves to ride horses, so very proud of her, and sad that we're gonna see her leave, go to the middle school, but very proud of her. So.
Congratulations, Virginia, to the Fiffick family. Nicely done. At this point, if you guys would like to leave, I know it's a school night, you're more than welcome to. I also know it's raining, so you might want to stay for a little bit and watch the student resolutions. It's up to you. So you get that option. But thank you very much, and congratulations.
Have a good
to you
evening.
guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you for coming. You have the student
I do.
resolutions? All right. Next up, we have our student resolutions.
Okay, student resolutions 124 through 134 of 2024. Girls bowling, whereas Kiki Thomas was named first team all AAC in girls bowling. And whereas Evan Thomas was named first team All-AAC in boys bowling. And whereas Matt Logan was named first team All-AAC and was named AAC MVP in boys bowling. And in wrestling, whereas Vince Lucci was named first team All-AAC, first team EOWL, placed first at sectionals, fourth at districts, fourth at EOWL, and was a state qualifier in wrestling. And whereas Tyler Scherer was named first team All-AAC, first team EOWL, placed first at sectionals, first at districts, and was a state qualifier in wrestling. And whereas Gabe Miller was first team All-AAC, first team EOWL, placed second at sectionals, fourth at districts, third at the EOWL, and was a state qualifier in wrestling. And whereas Nick Joseph was named first team All-AAC, first team EOWL, placed third at sectionals, sixth at districts, and fifth at the EOWL in wrestling. And whereas Quinn Gaka was named first team All-AAC and second team EOWL in wrestling. And whereas Tristan Miller was named second team All-AAC and honorable mention EOWL in wrestling. And whereas Jose Estremera was named second team All-AAC in wrestling. And whereas Joey Panunzio was named second team All-AAC in wrestling. And therefore be it, whereas these accomplishments brought honor to themselves, their families, and their school, therefore be it resolved that these students be commended for these outstanding accomplishments, and that these resolutions be spread upon the official minutes of the Canfield Board of Education, and that copies be presented to them. Congratulations, wrestling and boys and girls bowling. Job well done.
Congratulations to all our athletes. Nice job. All right, next up, we have a presentation of the minutes. We do have the minutes from the March 13th regular meeting, the March 20th special meeting, and the April 9th special meeting that we received in advance. So at this time, if I can get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve DeCapua?
Second, Campbell.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist? Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Mr.
Sorry.
DeMarlo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Wait out,
Is Matt turning it on? Is your microphone off?
It was off.
Okay. We're testing.
It could be
our-
lightning strikes, we
No,
don't know.
that's
We're-
right, blame
we're
it on
in-
Mike.
Okay.
You just want to wake everybody up.
Holy smokes, okay.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have our treasurer's reports for January and February, and we will go to our treasurer.
Okay, I would like to comment on the, January check payment register on the second page. Just want to point out some utility costs, monthly utility costs, that we have. If you look at Columbia Gas, it's $5,900 for the month, combined with the IGS Energy of $12,085 for the month. So that is a typical gas bill for us. Electric, Ohio Edison, on page 2, the middle of the page, $24,000. About 10 below that, there's diesel fuel with Truck World, $21,000. And then on the third page, toward the bottom, City of Canfield water, $16,700. So just gives you kind of feel for what we pay each month in utility costs. The outstanding purchase order register for January, the new items start on page 17. Not going to comment on the January investment report, we'll just talk about the February one, since it's cumulative. And then moving on to the cash summary report for February, we are starting to receive our advances for the first half of 2024. So our balance is going to go up, the fund balance will go up, even though it's a couple $1 million less than what we started the year with. Food service fund, a few below that, is a very healthy balance. It's over $1 million now. Noel, our new food service supervisors, are doing a wonderful job. And then Administration of Athletics, we are at $60,000 and started the year with 6, so that's looking very favorable, although this is right after all the football and basketball receipts are in, and the spring sports are not really revenue generators, so we will see that balance go down in the next couple months. Wanted to point out one item on the check payment register in February, Myers Equipment Corp. The check was for $113,000. Of that, $106,000 was for another new bus. So buses are in the 6-figure range, and these are just regular buses. They aren't even the handicap ones, which are even more expensive. And new purchase orders for February start on page 17. Don't really have any to comment on. Would like to comment on the investment report for February. The money market rates at Star Ohio and Farmers went down about 0.5%. However, we were anticipating several rate drops this year from the Fed, and they just came out today and said it's likely that we may only see 2 out of the 6 or so that were expected. So I believe that's due to high inflation. So that's good in a sense of when you have money to invest, those rates will stay higher. And again, we're at 5.64% and 5.49%, which is crazy for money market rates. Any questions on any of the reports?
I'm just looking at the February, so even the CDs that are maturing this year, one obviously this month, and those should be able to lock in at least a nicer rate too, right? So is that what we'll do, is take those and potentially look at like a 5% rate, or no?
Well, what I'd like to do is wait until we're seeing that the rates are going to start falling, and then lock in the CD rates, because the CD rates are not quite as high as those money market rates, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Because they're out over a longer period of time.
Gotcha.
So that's my plan.
Okay, makes sense. And then the only other question I had was in regards to the food services balance. So I know Noelle's doing a nice job, but just to help me understand that last year at this time we were, or was it the year before, where we're kind of stressing
2 years.
with our spend. So is it just because we're, help me
It's
understand
mainly
that.
from the federal money we received from COVID.
Okay,
Because it applied to everybody, not just free and reduced.
okay,
And, that has always hurt us in the past.
okay.
She's going to have a presentation next month, which it's interesting about raising food prices because of rules that you have to stay within a certain range to get your federal reimbursement. And so while the balance is healthy, we still may have to have a small increase.
Yeah, because food costs are still going up, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Okay. Very
any
good.
other questions?
Anyone else? All right, can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
So moved. Campbell?
Second, Demila.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. All right. Next up, we have public participation, and Mr. K. Just as a reminder, 3 minutes, state your name and your address for the record, and then the floor is yours for 3 minutes.
My name is Ed Kay. I've lived on 21 Edward Street for the past 45
Mr. Kay,
years.
can you
Just
tilt the microphone down and speak into it?
the rain is kind of messing with us.
Is that better?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah. My name is Ed Kay, and lived at 21 Edward Street for the past 45 years, and we've always had a good neighbor relationship with the schools. I spoke several times last year addressing the board concerning construction of a new middle school fronting on Edward Street, and why it would be a poor decision to locate a new school there. I would again like to review those concerns. The lot is simply not suited for construction of a new school. And again, quoting the own words last year, we would have to squeeze or somehow shoehorn a new building onto such a small site. Is it really a wise and responsible decision to build a new school knowing those conditions? It would be a shame should future generations realize what a bad decision it was to build a new school on the site with such constraints and limitations, knowing that another better suited site was available. Edward Street is one of the narrow streets in the city where 2 school buses can barely pass each other safely. Edward Street has no sidewalks on either side of the road for students and visitors to safely walk and access the front of the building. Don't know if any of you realize it, but Edward Street is currently rated as a light-duty residential road. The city has placed no heavy truck traffic signs at both ends of the road, prohibiting any heavy construction vehicles with equipment, building materials, and concrete to access the site via Edward Street, and attempting to do so would trigger all kinds of complaints to the city, as well as constant calls to the police to enforce the no truck law. Also, who would then be responsible to maintain and pay for any costly road repairs. There are safety concerns about constructing a new building so close to the existing school while still in session, and how construction would disrupt teaching. Speaking to several teachers at the middle school, they're also concerned about safety and a lack of access for students to participate in any kind of outdoor activities for at least 2 to 3 years, and how unfair that is to the children. Safe demolition, including asbestos abatement of the existing school being in such close proximity to a new school building that will then be in session, is questionable. Locating the new school on a Shield Road property, which is so much better suited, would eliminate all these problems, as well as allow for any future expansion and joint ventures with any other organizations. A group of us campaigned pretty heavily against the bond levy last year, simply due to the fact that it was proposed construction on the Edward Street property, and using the Shield Road property would be much better. We refer to it as irresponsible spending of funds and ask, if building $1 million home, would you put it on a site, or as you say, shoehorn it onto a site not suited for it? Wouldn't you rather spend a little more for a much better suited location, allowing for expansion with an eye to the future? We were able to contact and speak to many people in the community about our concerns, and sadly are prepared to do so again should the new middle school location proposed be on Edward Street. If a new middle school is indeed to be proposed, we would appreciate you strongly considering the Shield Road location again. I hopefully plan to speak again in May with more reasons not to build on Edward Street, and with additional comments from the community and the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kay.
Thank you, Mr. Kay. And we continue to vet those questions and ask those, understanding the needs. And so that is the debate and the challenge that the school district will continue to ask from a school board perspective. So thank you. Mr. Henry.
Jason Henry. I live at 30 Montgomery Court here in Canfield. Briefly, I try to stay off of social media, but sometimes it's unavoidable. And I wanted to speak to the record to say that there are those in the community that think the school board is doing a good job, that you're not misspending the money, that the permanent improvement fund actually does go toward permanent improvements, and that the public record speaks very differently from what shows up on social media. So just kudos to that. Ironically, following Mr. Kay, for the same point but for different reasons. A couple months ago I was here and I talked about the impossible quandary that the community has put the school board in. That you've been asked to take the future-looking plans for the school district to make the best possible choices for the future of the community, but then told that you can't spend the money that you need to spend to do that, and that there's no easy way around that, and you've been told to find middle ground that realistically just doesn't exist. To that point, I would recommend that on one hand, you've been shoehorned into building a new middle school because That's what the community has said they will spend money on. But I think the flip side of it is you have to still keep the forward-looking plan in place, and building a new middle school at Shields Road fits that bill better than at the current location. If you're looking out at this school district in 20 or 40 years, I think that when it's time to build the new elementary school, replacing the 2 with the 1, trying to do that on site at Hilltop is going to run into the same problems we face with the middle school on Edward Street, trying to shoehorn it in, make something fit that's not a good fit there. It is a good fit. There's an elementary school that sits there. The middle school fits very well in the site that it's at. It doesn't fit well to put 2 buildings there. And although you're going to tear one down for a while, there's going to be 2 buildings there, and it just doesn't fit. The school board does have an opportunity with other land that they have already owned. Yes, it requires improvements, but again, investing in the future down the road, it's a better option. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Appreciate your feedback as always. And again, it is a quandary that we are in, so. All right, next up, we are going to, I need a motion so that we can go into executive session to consider the employment of public employees. We will be coming back out of executive session, resuming our agenda, that there is actionable items that we'll be completing the agenda. But at this point, for those of us that are going to the audience, you're more than welcome to stay until we come back out, or you're more than welcome to leave when the rain settles. So can I get a motion to go into exec?
So moved.
Second, Demila.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Oquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes. All right, we will be back. It is now 6:38. We're going to go up to the front office. Front office. All right, we will be back at that point. All right. We are at 7:56. We are back from executive session. And we can move on to our new business.
All right, thank you, sir. So under personnel, some resignations of licensed staff. In Exhibit 1, we have Megan Valero as a district literacy coach effective July 10th, 2024, and David Spalding, a director of special services effective July 31 of 2024. Under resignation of classified staff, found in Exhibit number 2, we have Cindy Rawlings, middle school special needs aide effective July 1 of 24. Bridget Lazier, Hilltop Special Needs Aide, effective March 28th of 24. Nancy Sable, Hilltop Special Needs Aide, effective June 1 of 24. Nicole Zenko, Hilltop Special Needs Aide, effective May 30 of 2024. And Sophia Smith, Hilltop Special Needs Aide, effective May 30 of 2024. Under transfers, reassignments, Richard Rusher for Hilltop Title I tutor to Hilltop kindergarten teacher, effective for the 24-25 school year, at $61,577. Under hiring for a licensed staff, Lori Lee Barnett, a C.H. Campbell kindergarten teacher, effective for the 24-25 school year at $52,720. And Patrice Lurie will be coming in as a substitute guidance counselor at $120 a day, effective April 17th to 24. We have some high school summer school folks to hire at $35 an hour. Anthony Holben, Tom Muckelroy, Jacob Courtney, Daniel Giacomo, and Tim Wenzel. Hiring of our classified summer help, we have Tanya Hartman at the middle school, summer secretary, $13 per hour, 5 days a week. Kathy Palumbo at Hilltop, and Angela Berg at C.H. Camp. Under approved classified subs, we have Michelle Gardner, found in Exhibit number 4. Also like to recommend our administrators, their contract renewals as per the enclosed list at current salary. That's Exhibit number 5. Contract renewals for our licensed staff. We have our continuing contract teachers in Exhibit 6, a 1-year limited contract of teachers in Exhibit 7, our continuing contracts of our tutors in Exhibit number 8, our 1-year limited contracts for tutors, Exhibit 9, and our non-renewing of limited contracts, which are resolutions number 135-2024 through 140-2024, which is Exhibit number 10. And then finally, our contract renewals for classified, our continuing contracts found in Exhibit number 11, our limited contracts in Exhibit number 12, and our non-renewing of limited contracts, which are resolutions number 141-2024 through 155-2024. All those, that was in Exhibit 13. So all those individuals, big staffing month as presented.
Yeah, absolutely. Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the personnel resignations as outlined in A, B, and the transfer reassignments in C, the hirings in D, E, F, and G, as well as the administrator contract renewals in item 2, and the contract renewals in item 3 and 4 as outlined in the respective exhibits as articulated by Superintendent Knoll.
So moved, Alquist.
Second, Campbell.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend increasing the onboard bus instructor pay to $25 an hour effective April 18 of 2024.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve an increase for the onboard bus instructor pay rate to $25 per hour, effective April 18th?
So moved, Demila.
Second, Campbell.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend approving our first reading of our policies, which was Exhibit number 14, all of those policies as presented.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the first reading for the policies as presented in Exhibit 14?
So moved, DeCapua?
Second, Alquist.
Any discussion?
Tracy and Betsy, you sat in on these?
I was not able to this time,
Okay.
but I did do it virtually, or went over it with Mr. Vito separately.
Okay. And you feel comfortable with?
A lot of it is mandated by HB 33.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Very good. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Recommend approving our out-of-state overnight field trips in exhibit number 15. The high school girls soccer team traveling to Mercyhurst Gannon University in Erie, PA, to take preseason team camp July 23rd to 26th of 2024. Provided travel and lodging are paid by an outside source. And our boys soccer team doing the same. Provided travel and lodging are paid by an outside source as well. Those are exhibit 15.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the out-of-state overnight field trips for the soccer teams for both the boys and girls as presented?
So moved, DeCapua.
Second, Demila.
Any discussion? Can't believe it's already time to talk about soccer.
Yes,
teams. This is always a good one, I know, for the kids. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend approving the standards for food sold on school premises following the state guidelines, which is exhibit number 16.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the standards for food sold on school premises as outlined in Exhibit 16?
So moved. Campbell?
Second, Demila.
Any discussion?
So this is a yearly requirement, and basically we have to state that the Canfield Local Schools has adopted and is enforcing a nutrition standards policy that considers the requirements of the Ohio Revised Code 3313.814 and governs the types of food and beverages that may be sold on the premises of the schools.
Very good. That provides clarity as to what I was going to ask. So, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Recommend approving the ESC, the MVR COG Services Agreement, which was exhibit number 17.
Based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the ESC MVR COG Services Agreement as presented in Exhibit 17?
So moved, Alquist?
Second. Campbell?
Any discussion?
Can you give a little background on this?
Yeah, there's a lot of letters there, but basically it's the COG agreement. So, Ms. Treasurer, is this like our the
Substitutes.
Exhibit A for our substitute?
Yeah.
So we purchase service from the COG to help us with their subs. They do all the calling, and then we pay them for the service.
Gotcha, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
No action needed, just an announcement. Intra-district open enrollment applications are being accepted between Hilltop and C.H. Campbell Elementary School. So number 11, I'd like to recommend adopting resolution number 156-2024, authorizing the execution of an architectural agreement with the End Design Architecture in connection with the secure vestibule project at C.H. Campbell, exhibit number 18.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 156-2024, authorizing the execution of the architectural agreement with Then Design for the C.H. Campbell vestibule project?
So moved.
Thank you.
Campbell?
Second, DeCapua.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend the adoption of resolution number 157-2024, authorizing the execution of an architectural agreement with MS Consultants, Inc. in connection with the secure vestibule project at Hilltop Elementary, exhibit 19.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion adopting Resolution 157-2024, authorizing the execution of the architectural agreement with MS Consultants?
So moved, DeCapua.
Second, Alquist?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Recommend adopting resolution number 158-2024, authorizing the purchase of construction services for roofing improvements from Weathersproofing Technologies as the administrator and Boak and Sons as the prime contractor through participation in the contract with the Ohio Schools Council.
Based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion adopting Resolution 158-2024 for the purchase of construction services for roofing improvements as presented in Exhibit 20?
So moved. Campbell?
Second, Demila.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
and I'd like to recommend adopting resolution number 159-2024, authorizing the execution of an architectural agreement with CJL Engineering in connection with the HVAC upgrade project at CH Campbell, and that was exhibit number 21.
Based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion adopting resolution 159-2024, authorizing the execution of the architectural agreement with CJL Engineering as presented in exhibit 21?
So moved. DeCapua?
Second, Alquist.
Any discussion?
I just want to publicly thank the board for these upgrades and improvements in the district. I know it's painful and it's costly, but I think they're well-deserved. And I'm very excited that there's a lot of Canfield local people doing these jobs. And I'm very excited about that as well.
So CJL
CJL
Engineering is?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Great.
They've got a principal that's a Canfield owner with CJL, so yes.
But thank you.
So, yes, I would echo the sentiments and say it's nice to see local opportunities continuing to be provided. So, and thank you to everyone for these projects, and I think they will be well received, hopefully, within the school district. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes. Donations. I can try to read them. I'll read them. All right, donations. We have the month of April 2024. Canfield PTA, $2,000 for the CHC playground. Mahoning Valley Society Professional Engineers, $60 for the CVMS math counts. The following are for show sponsorships for the Canfield players. Meridian Healthcare, $500. Robert Kale, $100. Brian and Betsy Logan, $50. David and Sarah Kovas, $500. Michael and Allison Zaccoli, $500. Beso del Sol LLC, $1,000. Bellaria Express No Day Enterprises, $100. Handel's Ice Cream, $500. Bar Properties Ltd, $500. Vayner Realty, Shannon and Jason Vaudhandel, $100. John and Kathleen Vogren, $100. Anthony Guy and Colleen DeSato, $100. Elishek Dental LLC, $50. Cleanup Services Inc., $500. Janice Elias, $50. The Vineyards at Pine Lake, $250. Robert and Christine Gerst, $250. Second Soul, $100. Sadir and Shanti Nalapanini, $500. Canfield Rotary Association, $1,500. The following are all for the CHS Art Show. Youngstown Tao and Terrazzo, $200. Thomas and Kristen Joseph, $100. Jude and Rebecca Nora, $10. Rapture Labs LLC, $25. Kimberly Merlin, $10. Jeffrey and Gail Poor, $50. Patrick and Stacy Howlett, $100. Nader and A.M. Atway, $25. Ryan and Danielle Philibin, $25. Tom Simcoe, $50. Phil Hemming, $20. Anonymous, $10. Broad Street Massotherapy, $50. Jeffrey and Denise Joseph, $25. TCR Real Estate Holdings LLC, $50. Sherry Mendiola, $50. Elizabeth Skeels, $100. Ann Frederick Crawford, $100. Independent Dialysis Group, Northeast Ohio LLC, $100. And for the Hilltop Library Fund, Ajay and Arjan Bennett, $20. For a total amount in cash donations of $10,430. Thank you to all for those donations and a very nice month of donations.
Absolutely. That was great.
Can I have a motion to approve our April donations?
So moved. DeCapua?
Second, Demila.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. Demilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes. I think that is all we have from a business perspective. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second, Campbell.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Good night.